Shalom, people. This is Brother Lyles coming at you with another video, and I want to talk about the state of emergency that's been declared by the governor of New York because of the spread of polio and how it's been found in samples of drinking water throughout New York City and several New York counties. A caveat to that is that when me and my family were stationed in upstate New York at 10th Mountain Division back in the early to late 1990s, they had outbreaks of meningitis that were going on at the daycare centers throughout the state of New York. And indeed, I think it was other occurrences of it throughout the country back during that time, because what they found out was these daycare centers were getting more and more children in, and when they sent them out to play in the playgrounds back during that time, most playgrounds had sand in them, you know, so that if the child fell, obviously they wouldn't get injured as much as falling on concrete. And they found that as the children's spit and maybe they urined or whatever, all that stuff got into the sand held check of it, and it also held check of, you know, other secretions or whatever. And that as the children played in the sand and whatever, and they came in contact with other children's bodily fluids, that this was creating these, I mean, massive meningitis outbreaks. I'm talking about hundreds and hundreds of children that were exposed. And one of the things that as you study about polio, is that you found that polio in the past is passed because the drinking water of a certain place has fecal matter in it. Now, there are other waterborne diseases that one can get from ingesting water that has fecal matter. You get cholera, dysentery. Polio was one of those diseases that, you know, was propagated. And if you look at New York City in the 1800s, as it was becoming a metropolitan area that it became, you would find that the sanitation methods, not just really in New York, but any big city back during that time, was very, very atrocious. You know, they said that people were still basically, you know, throwing their crap out on the street, and they had the street sweepers that would come up and sweep it up. But that, you know, when the rain came, you know, it would wash all this stuff down into the sewer systems or whatever, and none of the water was being treated and stuff like that. It is, but that the primary reason that a lot of these waterborne diseases were annihilated was not because of the jabs. And I'm gonna use that because I want YouTube to pull this video, but that they was not eliminated because of the jabs. It was eliminated because of modern civil engineering projects that cleaned the water and made sure that fecal matter and all this other kind of stuff, at least in some parts of these large metropolitan areas, did not get into people's drinking supply. Now, we know later on, when we seen some of the black-owned chocolate cities, and like Flint, that, you know, that has not historically been the case, that, you know, you will see where, you know, the drinking water was poor quality or whatever, and that disease and learning disability was still prevalent. Why? Because the water they had in these cases, the modern jab schedules were being implemented, but it was still that people was getting sick, because it wasn't that whether they was jabbed or not jabbed, it was because of the water. If you read throughout Leviticus, read throughout the Old Testament, you see the continuousness of one washing their hands. Yes, for ceremonial reasons, but also I believe that the Most High was trying to get our peoples in the mindset of you must keep your hands clean. And also, if you're around any water source that you drinking around, you must make sure that your hands are clean. And that whenever you cleanse yourself of anything, it must be around running water, so that the water, you wash whatever it is that's on your body, your hands off, and then the water will take it away and let the natural process of nature break down whatever those germs. It had nothing to do. How was the Israelites, our ancestors, which probably had ballooned to millions of people by the time that they got into Palestine or Israel, when they, and when they was wandering through the desert 40 years, how did they keep down disease? Yes, it was also the fact that the presence of Most High Yah was there, and form a cloud and pillar, and also the eating of the manna. But it was also that the regimen of Leviticus was enforced upon the people, that you would not use the bathroom around the area where people live, that you would go off into the camp and you would bury it. That's one of the primary reasons why, outside of when Most High Yah sent disease to punish people for disobeying, outside of that, the Bible said that people never got sick. Their natural strength, or at least in the case of Moses, never abated, because they were keeping themselves clean. And so that now that you see this, the health departments and all this, we had one time eradicated polio through the jab. That's a lie. They eliminated it by using the thing to clean the water systems up that the people were not only drinking but bathing, because your skin is your largest organ, and disease can get into your body through maybe cuts in your skin, or just your skin absorbing it in, right? And absorbing the moisture into your bloodstream. Just like when you go into a public shower or something, you go barefoot with no shower shoes on, and then you end up getting some terrible form of athlete's foot or whatever other kind of disease, and you get really sick and all this kind of stuff. It's because of sanitation. And I would say to you again, now that they're saying that they're finding samples of the CV-19 that was found in some drinking waters, and they're finding it in this polio, that's cause of when the people, the stuff is coming down off of your body and is running into these treatment plants. Either the maintenance of the plants are not being kept up, or that they don't have the proper things to cleanse the water, because that's just going to be a part of you living in any kind of city or whatever. Also, the fact that I believe that certain bacteria, because man was never really meant to be living in these big cities like this, and taking this water and just treating it over and over and over and over and over and over and over, that they said bacteria and stuff gets to a certain limit where it gets strong against the antibodies and stuff that you try to use to kill it, where it breaks beyond that barrier, and you can't find anything to kill it without killing the host body. And so that we know that the governor of Texas is busting in all these illegal immigrants into New York City and other cities, and that some of these people are coming from nations where there is no jab scenes. There is. And so they very well could have polio in their bloodstream, but because their bodies is used to it, it's not affecting them at all. And also, it has built up a resistance to certain things, so that you got these people coming into New York City, and we know they said the governor of Texas has busted busloads of these people to NYC, other parts of New York, DC, all these other places like that. That I believe this is a effect of that, and also the fact that I think this is a doing of the Most High, right? I think it's a doing of the Most High, allowing these things to come in and to make these purveyors of these Japsins, to say it's all about the Japsins, to show them to be a liar. Because now it has came out that they said, yeah, the Japsins that we got against this CV-19 is not going to do anything to it, but it's better than having nothing. It's going to, just like it was with the flu, influenza, that they say it's better than nothing, right? You got some protection, right? And so now with this polio thing, they're trying to figure out what, you know, since it's been so long since we have even done a Japsine for this thing, how are we going to approach this, right? We gonna give out what we got, but some of these, like I said, some of these people coming from nations where they didn't have Japsine schedules. What are they going to do when they say, okay, the Japsine that we're giving you now for polio is not effective against these people that's coming in, because they're coming in from a totally different ecological system and everything. And so that now we're going to go through this whole song and dance that we did again with the CV-19, when I believe that now they're going to say, well, wherever these immigrants went that probably was exposed, that had this. But the problem with that is this has been going on for decades now. I can remember when we came back to North Carolina in the 90s, and they was talking about and at that time, I was still into that raccoon mindset of the Japsine, you got to have it, and anybody that doesn't want to do it is evil and all that. I was thinking like that. My mindset was like that. But what we used to see here in North Carolina was, because we have a large immigrant population coming from south of the border here, very large, that they was coming up with these cases of polio, smallpox, all from people that was coming from countries where they didn't have the Japsine schedule, right? And so there was not this big hoopla. Now, again, I do think it's Most High that's using this to expose these people for who lies that they are by saying it's the Japsine. No, it's sanitation. And I believe if you get these people, you know, because obviously when they're first coming into the country, they're going to have the sicknesses and diseases and stuff that's in their bodies from these other nations, that as their diet would change, as their sanitation practices would change or whatever, that over time, whatever that they have would possibly go away, and there wouldn't even be no need for, because I'm understanding that every one of them that's coming in that's illegal, they're not going out to get the Japsines and stuff. So how is it not an outbreak? I'm thinking that they're taking this as another opportunity to bring in lockdowns and shutdowns and different things, and to monitor social media at extreme high rate, to shut down not only speech against Japsine, but other stuff that's going out there. And also for the Biden administration, because they're looking at what's going to happen in November, that they're going to probably lose a lot, that they're going to try to get out there and show, hey, we're not going to be like Trump. We're not going to wait till the last minute and try to make the people think we're proactive and we're doing this and doing that or whatever. But I think it's all going to be to naught. I really do believe, because if you got the immigrants that's going to probably go to New York City and be released, they're going to probably go to other places, and then they're going to start saying this stuff is popping up everywhere. When again, like I told you, this has been going on since the 90s, that they've been knowing that some of these people have been coming in that's unvaccinated, right? And I didn't mean to use that word. Been coming in that's unjabbed, right? They using this as a pretense to make it seem like, oh, we're going to get in on this thing, right, and stop it. But I'm here to tell you that if it's not going to be for the grace of the Most High Yah, and you listen to what the book of Leviticus say about dealing with food sources, water sources, and these different things, which, by the way, a lot of health departments and them people that built up their stuff in the past used that. They wasn't using Japsines at first. They was trying to clean water systems and people's mind, thinking of mind to turn them away. But because, like I said, you have so many immigrants that have come in and have gotten into the water systems and different things, that it's only by the grace of the Most High Yah that anybody is protected from anything, even if you got the Japsine. So that we are living in that time, especially when the Most High Yah start putting his plagues on people that they're not going to be able to explain. It's going to be the grace of the Most High Yah that's going to protect you. But also, like I said, using good hygiene procedures, right? And cutting down on the use of these hand sanitizers, unless it's the only thing that you can get your hands under some running water and soap and vigorously wash. And also, although I do understand that when you talking to people, that some people's saliva and stuff can spread out, you know, several feet or whatever, and that some people, you know, believe that the 6 feet rule, you know, might have some nefarious creation by some guy that wanted to, you know, make these posters and commercials where it had 666 or whatever. I to a certain extent, I still kind of use that 6 feet, maybe not 6 feet, but as far away. When I'm trying to talk to people today, I just try to keep my distance. Maybe not so much for myself, but also for them. But especially now with whatever it is, I would just say go back to doing the 6 feet rule, especially if you are not wearing a mask, right? If you're not wearing a mask. But again, with this outbreak, I'm thinking that they're going to probably, some states are going to bring back the mandatory 6 feet rule and the mask anyway. You know, but again, that's, understand that if it's not for the Most High Yah anyway, no matter what, you can't trust that you're going to be protected against anything. But again, this is just a sign of the times. I want you to leave a comment. I want you to give this video a thumbs up. I want you to subscribe. Be blessed.